From grain to glass, this show is dedicated to helping you make the best beer possible. So strap in and hold on to your mash tuns. We're Homebrew Bound. Welcome to Homebrew Bound. I'm Casey.
And I'm Miles.
This is the best beer show on the internet.
According to someone's mom.
Pretty sure it was our mother's, but yeah.
I fucked that up.
Yeah, you did.
It was fun,
yeah,
though.
You did. We are live streaming again on Eric's channel.
What up, YouTubers?
YouTube.com/WoodMcFly.
I think it's actually /Blackboard Beer Reviews.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
Well, then I screwed that one up. I'm sorry.
Oh well, no
Twice
worries.
in a row now.
People will watch it now.
Well, no,
they just get it. If you tweet, people will watch.
All right.
Yeah, no worries.
Sounds good. Yeah. So this episode, we're going to be talking about how adjuncts affect beer over time. We've talked about aging in the past. We've talked about our Imperial Stout. We've even tasted it on the show. I believe we called it Texas Brunch.
That's correct.
And so we have, by kind of a fluke, a 1-year-old aged, barrel-aged, non-adjunct version, kegged.
Yep.
And we have a few bottles of the one with maple and coffee left.
Correct. Which we're gonna try both of them on.
We're gonna try them both side by side. We're just kind of waiting for the other one to warm up a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
And again, these are both 13%. Miles was the smart one and got a second glass. I wish I would have been that smart.
Yep.
No, this is just to
Actually, I kind of want to send one of you guys upstairs real quick to grab sample glasses.
I'll do it. I know
Will
where
you do
they
it?
are.
All right, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. We're also smoking some cigars. So because when you're doing Imperial Stouts, a cigar is pretty much
Especially
Because
when
cigars.
whiskey barrel aged.
yes.
If
So
you happen to bring a bottle of whiskey down, I wouldn't hate you.
don't bring a bottle of whiskey down.
He's not wrong.
All right. So while Miles is up grabbing sample glasses, let's talk a little bit about the cigars that we're smoking.
Yeah, I elected to go with a longtime favorite of the Rocky Patel blend. Either way, Rocky Patel has a 1992 vintage that Miles just informed me is actually from 1992.
I can't see you through the smoke.
That's okay. It pays for days, bro. Either way, this Rocky Patel has been one I've been smoking since college. Miles's cousin James Pennings showed me to it when I was a barista, and it happened to be a cigar shop. And it's always just been a long-time favorite. It's like $6.50. Can't go wrong. It's a good smoke.
That's awesome.
There were others at Divine today where I was like, I should buy this, but I didn't.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
That's actually pretty funny. Ooh, Funk Factory Gooseria.
Yeah, I bought that one for $5 at the.
This is a
the
great
trunk of the
smoke.
car.
This is a great smoke. It's nice.
I am smoking the Padron Anniversary, the 1964 Anniversary Series. It's my favorite cigar of all time. I actually bought this one for my birthday weekend and didn't get around to smoking it.
Belated birthday, bro.
Yep. It's a phenomenal smoke. It's one of those that I could smoke all day long and not feel really shitty afterwards.
Yeah, you don't want to vomit into a toilet afterwards.
Yeah. But it's a little price prohibitive.
What are they? What are they?
This one, this size is like 16. The one I really like to smoke is the 24.
Damn.
But besides this one, I really like the anything from Arturo Fuente. I'm a really big fan.
Their short story is one of my favorites.
The short story and the Hemingway.
Opus X is where it's at.
Oh man, I will smoke
Cities
those.
only though. I think Stokey's on Grand is like one of the only shops in Minnesota that
Yep.
gets
Yeah. I order most of mine online. Or I go pick them up at St. Croix Cigar because I like to support the local.
Yeah, I like St. Croix Cigar too.
Yep. And those
We
guys
supported
are really nice.
them extensively in college.
Though, if you want a really good deal, go to I don't. It's not St. It's I can't remember what it's called. It's the one in the old bank in Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
They misprice a bunch of their shit like way under retail.
Sure.
And so you can get a decent deal there.
Sure. Good to
And
know.
stuff doesn't move, so you can get like I can find these with plume on them, which is just it's baller.
Nice. Miles, what are you smoking?
I have Rocky Patel The Edge. I've never had it before. It is a double wrap, so it's got the spiral of light and dark cigar leaf there, and it is treating me quite well. It's reminiscent of your vintage 92, but it's not quite as robust.
Yeah, this is pretty robust.
Yeah. The
And
92,
is that smoother?
it is smoother, yep. but I would have to say that between the two, I think I still prefer the vintage 92.
Nice.
So-
Casey's blowing smoke rings like a goddamn raging
Sorry, I get-
bull.
I get
They- No, it's
distracted.
cool.
They
I
are
like it too.
showing up
I
on the
can't do
YouTube.
it. I can't do it. So
I spent like a month in college practicing, smoking my pipe and making
can't
smoke
do
rings.
it. Ooh, pipe smoking sounds good. Too.
Oh, it's great. All right.
Smoke all the things. Yeah. So we have.
But
pre-poured out.
before we dive into that, let's talk about what we've been brewing.
Oh yeah.
Because
for
we
sure.
we forgot to mention that on last week's episode. We're doing a brew day today.
Yep.
What are we brewing?
Oh well, it's a take on. It's actually a pale ale version of a beer that Casey and I collabed on, which was called Haze for Days. Hashtag Haze for Days, which is stupid. A lot of people find it stupid, but it's kind
It's a funny name.
Dude, people on Instagram love that hashtag. So whatever. Anyways, we decided to make a little bit more drinkable version. We had a 7.3% first attempt IPA of that, and we decided to dumb it down. Casey made Andromeda, which was Citra Galaxy,
Mhm.
and we decided to do Galaxy Mosaic this time around. And yeah, it's literally the same exact malt bill, just different hops.
It's chilling right now.
It's
Should be
actually
great.
chilling right now, and it actually clocked in just a hair under 5.5 probably.
Yeah, the
is
malt
how it'll finish up.
bill. We did 16 pounds Golden Promise.
Yep. 2
Uh,
pounds flaked oats,
a pound of flaked wheat.
acidulated, a pound of flaked wheats, and a half pound of Munich 10,
Oh,
which was
yep.
actually Munich 5 to 7 is what I elected because I couldn't
Oh,
find
okay.
Munich 10.
Yeah, and that's basically just for color.
Yep.
Because we're shooting for just slightly darker, and everything else is super light.
Yep, exactly. Let those hops shine. So that'll be a fun beer. That should be ready in about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about doing pale ales is they're ready super fast.
Yeah, like this beer is a year in the making, and then this adjunct version is a year old as well. So
Oh man, I still get maple in the
yeah,
nose.
tons and tons of maple.
All right, so we've talked about adjunct beers in the past.
Yes, extensively.
We have, and how like things fall out with time.
Over time, yes.
And we are in the unique situation, again, completely by happenstance, where we had the ability to taste the adjunct version and the non-adjunct version side by side a year on, which isn't something you're necessarily able to do very often.
No, that's something you really have to have planning and patience,
Or just be a complete
determination,
Sheer luck.
or multiple people with a lack of continuous contact.
Yep.
It's called distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we initially brewed this beer for your wedding.
Yep.
And we
which
called
was
it
October of last
Nuptial,
year. Yep,
right?
Nuptial. Also my own name.
Which was a fantastic name, by the way.
Thanks.
The label turned out well.
Yep.
The beer turned out well.
Nuptial, also known as Texas Brunch Stout.
Yep.
So Young, what did you think of this beer?
I loved it. The coffee, we used Intelligentsia coffee, which really, really shined. We did not cold press it. We did like a coarse grind with a cheesecloth steep, if you will. If we
Mhm.
did this beer over again, I would totally cold press. Either way, we aged it in a Balcones corn whiskey, which is right over there.
Yep.
Blue corn whiskey barrel. So that's where the Texas comes from. Balcones is from Texas. Wish we could get their whiskeys here. We cannot. But yeah, so initially that beer, fresh, blew a lot of minds.
You gave it to your groomsman, right? So
I
we
gave
got
it to my
a bunch of
groomsman.
different
The
opinions
groomsman
on
is
it.
here. My best man is here, and he had
Yes,
it. and-
yes. I even did a whole speech and thing,
Yep.
and it was entertaining. No, as far as this beer goes, I apologize for the comparison, but it's reminiscent of my experience with Central Waters stouts in that they are very, very
How
good,
dare you
very,
compare
very
us to
young.
a world-class brewery?
right?
Yeah,
No,
fuck you, Miles.
Right? No, I'm just saying
Which
I'm
one,
not
the adjunct
trying to
version or the non-adjunct version?
just overall the fact that such a young stout can be so good.
Oh, thank you.
That is my comment on that, because very young.
Well, you were part of
It
the
was
brew day, too.
delicious. Yes, yeah, but you weren't going to advertise that overall.
You were there, bro.
I was, and it turned out well. And I think we even talked about it, the whole
We talked about the whole experience.
with
Go back
the
and listen
original
to a few.
Gravity.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah,
It was a
blah.
That
fucking
was a
disaster
whole.
brew
That
day.
was a whole
That
thing,
was
but
the thing.
it turned out really well.
Goddamn stout on my pants.
That happens.
Oh well.
All right, so
Looks like oil stains.
should we? All right. So have you tasted both of them yet? Has
I have.
anybody? Oh, you have.
I tasted the adjunct just now.
Okay.
And
so
after that,
All right. So not have you haven't tasted both of them yet. All right.
Neither
here you
of
go.
them yet.
So I haven't either. So why don't we talk about leaving Eric out of this one?
Go for it.
Always a good thing.
How do you think the adjuncts have fared over a year?
I haven't tried it yet.
I know,
Okay.
but like
How would I
like,
guess?
Yeah.
For this particular style, I would have to say that because they were all natural, like there was no artificial quality to this
Mhm.
beer, I'd say that they probably faded away with no bad.
Like
Okay.
they didn't
Do you think they faded to the background then?
I think they faded, but there's nothing.
There's no weird aftertaste.
no
from
weird residual quality
Okay.
that came from it.
It.
Because I've had plenty of extract versions where if you have them too old, they just taste like
Yep.
glyco whatever,
Yes.
and it's not
Yeah.
good.
So, my hope. I'm gonna go with my hope first. My hope is the coffee faded way back, and that the maple came a little bit more forward, and is more pronounced. Because in the initial, it was a coffee bomb with
Yep.
some maple in the background.
The
And
one thing
I hope
will
it
say
kind of
is coffee
rotated.
and maple are the two adjuncts that fade the fastest.
Yep.
At least as stout wise goes, people add cocoa nibs, chocolate hangs forever. Coconut, it's there. Like there's so many different things, but maple and coffee are the ones that fall the fastest and the hardest.
So
And they
I'm
become green peppery and fajita and awful.
my theory for what's happened with this beer is the base beer was super chocolatey.
Yes.
So I'm guessing what we're gonna get is we're gonna get a very chocolatey beer with hints of maple and very little, if any, coffee and maybe some green pepper.
Hopefully not.
Judging by the smell, I think the maple is still going to be surprisingly pronounced.
Okay.
That is my guess. My hope is that we will still have a pleasant amount of the coffee coming through, and then also overall, it smells like chocolate milk. That's not a bad. That is an amazing
The
thing.
non-adjunct version is chocolate milk, baker's cocoa forward like crazy.
Do you guys think it's going to be overly boozy? Well, do you think it's going to be overly boozy?
Normally, time does not lend towards a boozy quality. Normally, the booze has a tendency to maturate with the rest of the beer and give this.
Do you remember the young beer at all?
Mostly yes.
Okay. Do you remember picking up any like major booze flavors in the young beer?
I'm going to say no, but then I will also subscript that with I almost never
It's been
do
a
by
year.
comparison
Yeah.
with you two.
Right.
I'm the last one to pick up on boozy qualities.
I remember the young beer, crazy barrel, a lot of barrel in the young beer.
Yeah, almost bitter.
Yep, not quite as much as we picked up with Gravity Hammer, but a lot of barrel.
Yeah, agreed. The one thing I will say just on the nose of the non-adjunct version is how much like medium to dark fruit has come alive. Like there is like a cherry, tobacco-y.
It's like this pruny kind
Yes.
of figgy meets this,
dates.
but subdued. It's not like this
Well,
pronounced dark fruit.
Right, it's not like you had a fruit addition, but it's definitely there.
It's like you had a cherry or fig aged wood and then you grilled with it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I can see that. And then, wow, it's good.
All right.
It's thin
So-
though.
All right, I'm gonna.
The barrel. This one has aged thinner. The mouthfeel doesn't feel as creamy as
Yeah.
it did. It feels like it thinned out
All right.
over time.
So let's start with Eric. Eric, taste profiles on both.
All right, hold on.
Okay, never mind. We won't start with Eric.
Exciting
Right.
radio here.
The non-adjunct version a year later in a keg, to me comes off a little bit tannic. Comes off a little bit like with the sherry barrel character, where it's like this like light, spritzy mouthfeel in a way. It's got like this. If you've ever had sherry, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't enjoy it nearly as much as I thought I would. It's still got like this reminiscent baker's cocoa and chocolate.
It might be slightly overcarb too.
Maybe that's possible. Also, tobacco is affecting my palate a little bit there too. I do like it. It reminds me of Aged Expedition from Bell's a lot.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
Which I will take it. Like as far as stouts go,
I'll
Yeah.
say probably the one thing that didn't go into the beer that is somehow there that parallels it to the which one?
Non-barrel.
Wait.
Expedition.
Yeah.
Okay, is the anise kind of
Sure.
quality that
Trying to
it's lending
degas it
towards
a
the
little
beer.
bit.
It's in there without being in there at the same time. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Right. Yeah, for sure. It's not heavy on the black licorice anise notes, but it is there. It's faintly there. I will say the complexity seems to have dissipated over time. This beer once kind of sort of sat on the palate. It's that heavy. It's that viscous. It deemed to be a very, very heavy drinking cigar beer that you'd sip maybe 4 ounces over a couple hours. Now it's pretty crushable, which I think you attributed carbonation to being.
Yeah,
part
I
of the
think
issue.
I think it's the carbonation.
okay.
This keg has been sitting around, and I may have slightly gotten overzealous on the carb. So what I'll probably do is I'll degas it and let it sit at 10 psi.
Sure.
And so that'll help a little bit in the future. But this is not a beer that
There's
I'm
nothing
gonna.
to like hate on.
No.
The alcohol percentage wise, 13%. It does not drink like that at all. It drinks like about a 8% stout. It's faintly there, but it's not a booze bomb.
All right. Miles, your thoughts on the non-adjunct?
The non-adjunct. That is the one off the tap.
Yep.
Okay. It has
The
a little too
ridiculously
much
crushable
carbonation.
one off the tap.
It has a little too much carbonation.
Yep.
I think I'm drinking it a little colder than I would prefer. Not by much, maybe 5 degrees. It's very pleasant overall. It's just a very simple, easy drinking stout. It's
Yeah.
like the definition of a stout before Americans got their hands on it.
Could you tell it's barrel aged?
No. I
Me
don't know
neither.
if I could have.
Me neither. The only thing that's influencing picking up the sherry barrel character or barrel character at all is the cigar. To me.
It's possible. I think
I'm
there's
still picking up a little bit of barrel.
But
I'm-
not like vanilla notes. Not
No,
like
no, it's
that-
the
that-
tannic
that-
barrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just a little bit of that
It's
tannic
like the
barrel,
beer
which
needs to be thicker to hang on over time.
one could also guess that came from maybe highly roasted or just dark malts in general.
For
Well,
sure.
and the beer that we made was thin to begin with.
True.
Like
Or
it was
thinner.
thinner than what we were shooting
Yeah,
for.
we wanted it to boil probably about another 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah.
Happens.
Overall, it's a very pleasant beer. What did we say the ABV was?
13.
13. It does not drink that way.
All right.
At all. I might have guessed 8.
Yeah, so non-adjunct. Nose, chocolate milk. Hands down. Like just so much chocolate. And we didn't add any goddamn chocolate.
No, we didn't. No cocoa nibs, nothing.
Nothing. And this is one of the chocolatiest beers I've ever tasted. As Eric domes his first glass.
Fuck.
Done for.
Bye-bye, Wusia.
Flavor wise, chocolate comes through, and it's almost overpoweringly chocolate.
Yeah, lot. And then dark fruits.
And then dark fruits.
The non-adjunct has aged like a true Russian imperial stout, where they thin out over time.
Yep.
They become more dark fruit and chocolate centric. Kind of honestly, it reminds me of like a really old darkness, like a 08 darkness, where they get
Okay.
sweet, they get sherry,
Yep.
they get like that oxidized, almost borderline oxidized.
The mouthfeel, I've been sitting over here shaking my glass for a while to try to degas a little bit.
Yeah.
Mouthfeel does get better as
Sure.
I degas it. So
Probably also as it warms up a little bit.
Yep, as it warms up. But yeah, it's still just a touch thin, but not like a bad thin,
No.
where like it's
Not like
a watery
Central
beer.
Waters then.
It's like
Yeah.
a classic
I don't mean
stout
to-
thin.
Yeah,
Give them a bad rap there, but they're no.
their stouts are
thin beers.
thinners. Yeah.
Drinkable is another word.
That's really all. Like, it doesn't linger a whole lot.
Do you wish we would have adjuncted the second keg and bottled it early on? I think I do.
I could go either way on it because I like the beer as it is. I could drink this beer.
Yep.
I really
You're
could
gonna
too.
get fucking hammered off of it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And this is a keg where I'll have it on for a week, and then I'll pull it off and let it age some more.
Yeah, why not?
That's the short version.
What's vanilla
Is
bean?
that the reason I would be glad that we did not age this one specifically is that because it's a very pleasant experience right now.
Right. Well, it's a year
And
old.
then-
It's a year old, and it's not a bad beer by
No.
any stretch of the imagination.
There isn't really any true oxidization coming through, or oxidation.
Yeah.
Oxidization. Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm not picking up any of like the cardboard and stuff that I was expecting.
Right.
There's none of that. All right, so let's dive into the adjunct, because that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about how adjuncts fade over time. We've talked about it, and we've never actually put it into practice until now. This is the first time I've done an adjunct beer where I've had it around for a year.
And it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't, because we're home brewers and we like to share our beer, and all of a sudden, oh no, we're out.
Oh,
That's me.
shucks.
I'm done. I also gave away like 50%, but
Yeah.
if not more, 60.
Yeah, no, I think I only ended up
I
with
had
like
8.
11 bottles.
8 after I gave away
Yeah.
everything.
And then I drank one. I brought one to Florida to share with some people. I brought 2 to different breweries.
That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah.
Pitchfork received it well.
Yeah, they did. Mike was not really sure what to think of it.
Yeah, I don't think he understood.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he wanted to say, yeah, you made a good beer. He was like, yeah, it's good. Jerk.
You crushed Vanilla Rose in a way.
If you have a Vanilla Rose is a porter, so it's a completely different
It's
beer.
11%, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an Imperial Porter. But
Still an Imperial Stout to me, but
I know. Eric, what do you think of the adjunct version?
well, the nose
that
reminds
lighter.
me a little bit. The nose reminds me a little bit of like a Bourbon County in a way. It's got this like custardy, vanilla-y, maple coffee character that I really, really like. in
Maple
stouts.
coffee and
Yeah.
just dense.
Yeah. The interestingly enough, by just the nose alone, the adjunct version is fared better over time.
I would have to agree, initially speaking.
Yep.
Coffee is still prevalent. Chocolate, baker's cocoa, powdery chocolate, cocoa. It's all there.
The dry, unsweetened.
Exactly, precisely. Good, very good. We can all smell it. I don't know if you guys all just want to taste it at the same time.
Holy custard Batman.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
this is
like straight up vanilla custard. This shows more barrel character than that version to me.
Yep.
But hands down. This beer fucking wails compared to the other one, in my opinion. Like
this beer
is
just
like
fucking whales.
this is like an 85. This is like a 95 to me. Type of if you want to equate them in class.
Okay.
I really haven't dove in too much on the taste, but
Yeah.
this is insane.
Yeah, no. So nose, pure custard. Flavor wise, that custard really comes through.
I think overall,
I don't taste a lot of coffee. I think the coffee is pretty much gone.
I think there's some reminiscent qualities, kind of that light coffee bitter quality comes through, as opposed to just being plain grain bitterness. The maple is also gone, but some of that residual sweetness balances out.
The maple has faded back, and it's not nowhere near as prevalent as as it
tastes
was.
like something you'd pour over pancakes now,
which
it has like
I'm
more of a maple
so
hint.
glad about.
Because
It's
I
like a
would
maple
have.
hint now.
Because I would have.
Yeah, no. So you really like Morning Delight.
And Good Morning from Treehouse.
And Good Morning. But yeah, so I actually had a pour of Morning Delight.
Yeah,
on my birthday.
the Dark Beer Fest too. Oh, did you go? Did he open a bottle when you were there?
No, they had it on tap.
Oh, they still had it on tap.
Yep.
And
And
it doesn't age well.
it does not age well.
It tastes like asshole.
No, it tasted great.
Sort of tastes
Don't
like
get me wrong. It tasted great, but the maple had faded, but there wasn't enough of the other beer to back it up.
Right, agreed. Yeah, I'm not a fan of age.
I think
Morning Delight.
this beer would be an example of the opposite, where it had the right level of adjuncts that even after they faded away, were able to just kind of balance off the base beer enough to be just freaking delicious. Because even though we can't really taste the coffee, even though we can't really taste the maple, this is by and large hands down better than the one without.
Yep.
So, and you kind of can, as you're swallowing, you can pick up on the back of the palate. The maple and the coffee are very prevalent. Now that it's warm, swallow slowly. That's what she said. But swallow slowly, and you can really pick up this like buttermilk pancake maple coffee note, where it's reminiscent of a faded morning delight to me. Fucking great.
Yeah, no, I really like this
Like
beer.
really great.
So
no tannic or really harsh whiskey booze character. This one you can tell is barrel aged. I think this one you
a lot
cannot.
easier than you can the other
You
one.
can tell it's
So
barrel
I'm
aged.
waiting.
which
For,
is
I'm waiting for
weird.
this
So
one to
what's the-
reach the same
what's
temp
the why?
as. Man. So we barrel aged this one first. So this one is fresh barrel.
Yeah, that's true.
This was second. And we basically went from we didn't re-wet it with whiskey,
True.
which is why I think we get so much more whiskey barrel character.
Thin character on the second one because we re-wetted it.
We didn't re-wet it on the second one.
I thought we did.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
We went straight from this beer to putting this beer in.
That's probably why
Yep.
there's not much. whiskey
Yeah,
character.
which is why because I re-wet and waited on if we talk about Gravity Hammer, barrel aged Gravity
Sure.
Hammer, that one massive barrel whiskey character, which
Agreed. That beer's
Miles said
awesome.
was too much.
It was a little much for what it was, but
Yeah.
yeah, I can see.
Yeah,
both sides.
that one is at 6 months now.
That style just is a blow hammer to the face.
Yeah.
Like barrel.
It's a gravity
whiskey
hammer
booze.
to the
Exactly.
face.
Exactly.
I
No, this
think
is
they call
great.
it a bitch stick. Am I wrong?
Only in Halo.
Uh,
Yeah, we brewed that one right when Halo 5 came out.
That game sucks.
It's not
does.
great. I like the
not a
campaign.
system
The
seller.
campaign was great.
Subpar at best, but yeah.
It was better than 4.
Yeah, but everything after 3 sucked in my opinion.
So, other than the adjuncts that went into this, the second variant, are there any other differences to this beer and how they were treated or aged?
Mm-mm. Well, I mean, one was aged in bottles and one was aged in kegs.
Which one was aged in kegs?
First
The first one,
The first one?
the non-adjunct, Asian keg.
That is actually really interesting.
First one also had a longer time in barrel by about 3-4 weeks.
Yep.
Which will thin a beer out.
I'm not sure how to take that because overall, I have to say the adjunct less barrel aged version aged overall better
Oh,
in
yeah.
almost every
Agreed.
single aspect.
Like have another
hands
bottle,
down.
it was that good type of good. For real. I mean, I expected the opposite, and here we are.
I did too.
Here we are.
I might have guessed the opposite. I probably would have.
All right. So to bring it back on topic, just for a second here, adjuncts. What adjuncts should we? So we've done maple and coffee, and we're expecting those to fade out pretty quickly, and they did. I mean,
But
yes
they
and
have
no.
residual
But
qualities.
they have residual qualities.
Which I think are almost better than their fresh quality.
I agree.
It's a more complete beer.
This is what I was really excited about for this beer. Like, you could taste the potential.
Yep.
And I think it hit it.
Totally.
But what other adjuncts do you think we could add to a beer that would age well?
Vanilla.
You think vanilla ages
Vanilla
well?
bean. Yes, I know it does.
I would have to imagine vanilla. I agree wholly and completely. If you end up ever saying the word extract, I would have to definitely say no. That's not on the list.
What about
Fruit.
like fruits?
Yep, I was just gonna say, perfect example, Bramble Rye that we had from Goose Island, Bourbon County, which was who knows. Either way, multiple different dark berries, the fruits, and same with Backyard Country Rye. They tend to get better with time as well. Fruits seem to do well.
Okay.
I think in my experience, there are definitely breweries who do fruits very poorly in stouts, but mint is another one that I think does well over time as well.
Okay.
Well, it's very true that it also depends on how you're adding that flavor to the beer.
True.
Because and I experienced this very explicitly with the almond cream ale that I made and brought on, that it had all the right qualities, but it also just tasted like extract,
Right.
wholly and completely.
Well,
And I blame that on, I think it's propylene glycol or something. It's some
Chemical component of creating an actual.
There's something not
extract.
great in that beer,
there's
like-
something not great in it. But I've also had some of these these aged, otherwise super fresh fruit bombs, cherry or raspberry aged sours that are just, God's gift to earth that do age well.
Right, and it also I think in the brewing process, every brewer adds their adjunct at a different time, a different amount, and a different quality. And I think there's multiple variables to adding adjuncts that I think truly, depending who you talk to, Like, especially for fruit. I mean, if you're adding it to a stout, do you add more? Do you add less? If you're adding it to an American Wild Ale, are you adding more? How long is the beer sitting on the fruit or the adjunct? Those are all factors to be taken, and I think it comes with personal taste preference. And I mean,
So we added a lot of coffee and a lot of maple.
not really.
Well, okay.
I mean, by comparison to commercial examples and
Yes.
the amounts I know that go into beers like Morning Delight and Good Morning and Double Stack out in Portland, we're under.
No, well, okay. But those are maple bombs.
True.
And ours, like we were shooting for a more
I
balanced.
think it's how we added the maple too. We didn't actually heat up the maple. We didn't break down those crystal structures for the flavor and aromatic.
Do you think it would have aged as well if we had?
No, definitely not.
So
see Morning Delight.
Yep. So
It aged terrible, even at the Dark Beer Fest in February. Like, remember, I was like, Morning Delight's not the best one today.
yeah, except how many pints of it did you have?
No, we didn't have pints. They were 2
Oh,
ounce
I
pours.
guess yeah. How many pours?
SR71 from Win.
Oh man, that SR.
That SR, though.
That sticker's on my kegerator.
No way.
It is. I stuck it to my shirt under my coat.
I'm leaving the scene. You keep talking.
It's on the top. Right.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
No.
Well, that's on that's on camera now.
Yeah, we definitely heard that one.
Yep. All right. So if you're adding adjuncts, I think the takeaway from this is you need to decide if you're adding adjuncts for age or if you're adding them for immediate drinking.
That's very true. And I think overall, kind of thinking back on it now, if you're going to end up heat treating the flavor in question, it's probably going to have a more short-term effect than if you just put it into a cold product.
Okay.
And my theory as to why this is untested and unresearched. So just bear with me here.
And it's also like 6 beers deep. So take that.
Well, so if you end up heat treating things, you're going to be lending towards chemical reactions and denaturization towards certain compounds. And when you do that to many compounds, you end up giving them shorter lifespans or more reactivity towards other things. When it comes to things that are primarily sugar-based, you can actually give them longer lifespans than if you don't because of fermentability reasons. But overall, heat treating things tend to wreck chemical stability.
Okay.
That's the short version. Unless it's already fermentable, then
Yep.
you don't have a chance to begin with, for the most part.
Yeah.
So again, this is an untested, unresearched.
Yeah. No,
hypothesis.
untested. And I mean, so you like, I like the way that we added maple into this because I think, yeah. So I like what you're saying. So if you're adding cold products or if you're adding products to a already stable
scenario,
colder beer, so you're not boiling it.
Yep.
You're
not
going
boiling,
to
you're
get
not mashing.
more shelf stability
For that particular flavor.
Yep.
Yes, because it's going to be put in a less reactive atmosphere and environment, because the yeast primarily is going to be done. It's not going to target that, and overall the cold is going to
I already just poured some more, so it's
stagnate other chemical reactions that could happen with the flavor product in question. But if, for example, if you're going to add it into the boil, not only are you going to be affecting it during that, but you're going to change it, leave it in the cold product, and then introduce new variables to change it from that point on as well. So again, unresearched, but that's my theory, and
I like that. Like it seems like it holds water. At least in this specific example, we added we added everything to the stable, I guess, quote unquote cold beer.
Well, and it was also treated with potassium bisulfate.
Yep. So it wouldn't ferment out.
Activity.
Yep. Yeah. And I feel like that has allowed the maple and coffee to last longer than it would if
Linger,
it
for
would
sure.
than if it were to ferment out.
To be live beer. I mean, I know with like Morning Delight, you got to keep that cold long term if you want any prayer or hope of those adjuncts surviving.
Yeah, otherwise it seems
Exactly.
like it'd bomb out.
They do, and I don't know if when you were down there, did you taste lactose? I feel like there's a lactose edition in Morning Delight.
So I honestly liked the Morning Delight that I had in May better than what I had
February?
in February.
Oh, really? Wow.
Because
It's possible they brewed a new batch for Hunapu Day when they went.
okay,
Possible.
but I got maple, but I didn't get like slap you in the face maple.
Sure.
It wasn't syrupy. What I had in February, I felt was very syrupy.
Okay. That makes sense. I have a feeling they brewed a small batch for a couple, 15-gallon
Yeah.
batch from
It's
Hunapu
entirely
Day.
possible. I really enjoyed it. I only had one pour, and that was enough.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's good.
They had.
I noticed you had more of those Citra bangers upstairs. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to dome some of those. Really though, this has been a fun episode, at least as far as stout goes. I think this should be a continuing series where we add adjuncts to other styles, whether it's brown ales, American wild ales, anything we brew from here on out. I think that
we should adjunct
explore. Yeah, even if we do 10, 15-gallon batches, one of them is treated just with adjuncts like lactose or fruits or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever style, and then try it later and carry on the series, because I think a lot of people are starting to realize
people are
there's only
exploring adjuncts.
so much you can do with malt. I do need a light again. Malt, yeast, hops, and water. So like I know the Pacific Northwest, Tired Hands out in Pennsylvania has started to use many more adjuncts, even in India Pale Ale, where they're using lactose additions. They're using fruit puree additions. Pipeworks in Chicago is doing a fish series where they brew a juicy bomb-ass double IPA and then they add like a pureed fruit. So I think there's more to come on the series.
Yeah, and if you guys are adding any adjuncts or have findings that you found, because I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest on this one. This is we haven't really done any research on the adjuncts that we're talking about here. This is just something that happened to happen.
Personal experience.
Yeah, personal experience. So we would love to hear your personal experience stories to kind of help inform our next experiments. Or
that and just in general.
As the word is, experiments.
Experiments.
I hate that so much. Just hate it.
I don't know why. It's accurate, if not a little presumptuous. But no, I agree. If you've come across any findings in your personal experience that either exemplifies or differs from our own, please let us know, because we're all on board for learning new things.
Also, just crazy custard in this beer. God damn.
My God.
The one thing I will say too, really quickly, is that if you have any commercial examples of beers that are aged extensively with adjuncts, like Bourbon County Coffee comes to mind, grab a 12, a 13, a 14, and do them side by side blind. You might shock yourself, because they say to drink those immediately. Do not age. Drink now.
Yep.
Bourbon County Coffee 13 right now, way good.
Do you remember our barefoot barley wine experiment? We did a 3-year vertical epic
of Bigfoot?
Of Bigfoot barley wine.
Bigfoot. Yeah.
Back when you still lived in
we did
town.
A 4. We did a 4.
Was
Yeah.
it 4?
Yeah, it was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think.
I think I have what year is it now? 2016? I think I have a 13 up in my cellar.
All I know is I think we liked the newer ones better than the older ones.
But I don't think there's any adjuncts in that beer.
I think that would totally change though now, just based on my palate. Bigfoot's a aggressive, brutal beast of a beer now. I'm sensitive to alcohol and big beers. I mean, not necessarily stouts, but as far as like pale ales, IPAs, triple IPAs,
anything that doesn't have the malt to hide it.
Anything that's overly bitter or brewed unbalanced, I just struggle. So, but yeah, I think it would be fun. Actually, there is a liquor store in Minneapolis, Edina area, called France 44. They sell 4-pack verticals of Bigfoot, where they're $12.99. So,
that's not bad at all.
Okay, Casey, try this real quick. This is a combo of the two.
You mix them?
I mixed them because
blending.
it sounded smart. And you know what? It's pleasantly surprising.
Ooh. It tastes almost like the young beer.
It's better than that.
Maybe.
Be the judge in a second.
What? I can't be the judge?
No way. Nah.
I like the adjunct the best.
There was that prominent maple and coffee, and the way they just worked with the baker's cocoa together, like strongly. It was a success. I still want to rebrew this beer.
Oh yeah, we need to.
I still want to experiment with the way we add the maple syrup, when we add the maple syrup, how much we add the maple syrup,
So I
how
think
we add the coffee.
if we're looking for age, I really think the way we added the maple syrup is the right way to do it.
Yep. But I'd rather just dome this all now.
I don't
You
know.
know what I'm saying? Like, if we brewed this tomorrow, I don't want to hang on to it for more than 6 months. Just cause, like, it's fine, but why don't we make a banger? Like,
No, yeah,
immediately
no.
speaking?
I'm saying we do another 10-gallon batch.
Oh, for sure. And you
and-
age yours how you want.
And we age one for a year,
Yeah, that's fine.
and we
It
drink
was a
one immediately.
fun experiment.
It was.
And
It was a blast.
What's great is we have a digital account of it now.
Yeah, we do. And
So
we
our
go back.
journaling.
We can go back and we can listen to, because we tasted the adjunct one live. And
That's
young.
also reviewed on YouTube as well. So by
Yeah.
myself and actually a couple of beer tubers, Joe out in California, had a bottle of TVBS and he really loved it. He equated it a little bit more to like Big Bad Baptist
I don't think I've had that
from
one.
Epic Brewing coffee stout. He didn't get a lot of maple. Then Timmy from Surly said he loved it, except there was a little bit of like harsh, acrid, bitter barrel character, which
I think
my
it's
palate
mellowed out
doesn't
now.
pick up on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah, as far as combining the two, I'd have to say it puts them between the two. It's better than the non-adjunct, but not as good as the adjunct.
And we would love to hear your guys' adjunct stories. Go ahead and shoot me an email at feedback@blindnewsstudios.com or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/blindnewsstudios. Or if you can fit it into a tweet, follow us on Twitter at blind_ninja.
Handles don't count anymore towards your 140 characters.
There you
so
go.
Tweet long, bitch.
I know I know there's a few homebrewers out there that I've been having an ongoing correspondence with, talking about different beers and stuff that they've been doing, and we haven't really talked about adjuncts much because that's not something I'm super experienced with, because I don't do adjunct beers.
You're Ryan Heights Cabot. It's cool. Don't worry.
Yeah, kinda.
Also, just
Music
I've gotten
whales.
a couple of more requests to see my control box,
Yep.
temperature control box, which is fantastic.
You should just make that a public document. God damn it!
Okay, it'll happen today. I'm sorry. It's happening today.
I know.
And overall, if you have any comments or questions for it, other than a more detailed picture of the whole thing, which
Shoot me an email and I'll
Yeah.
forward it on to Miles.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in to Blackboard Brewing, the
Yep.
live stream.
Yeah, thanks for
Or
everyone who
if you're
enjoyed it.
listening to this on the podcast and you want to see the video of us trying this beer and smoking cigars and just looking baller while doing
I
it,
feel drunk as app right now. I'm
head on
not.
over
It's this
to
guy.
With
youtube.com/Blackboard
this
Brewing,
nice hazy
Believe so.
atmosphere.
or it's youtube.com/Wood McFly, or just find Wood McFly on Twitter
Just type
and look
Eric
his-
Wood, and we're good.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I like the ring of that.
Better than Nick Philly.
Damn it, Miles.
All right, guys.
Go dumb
We'll
some
see.
good
We'll
brew.
see you next week.